Well, I'll start and I'll say that email is dying. That's my open challenge that it is.
Get ready for a dose of internet marketing strategy and tactics from the makers of the best digital marketing toolset, Mondovo.com. Mondovo.com. Here, we tell you how to uncomplicate your marketing endeavors and find success online. Let's get digital marketing simplified.
All right, the topic for today is reaching out to customer. Which is the best medium or platform to reach out to them and have an engaging conversation with them? So to talk on this, we have Sameer Panjwani, CEO of Mondovo, Giri, Customer Success, Mondovo, and me, Bala, the growth guy over here. So we're all going to talk on this particular topic. Let's get started.
Let's get digital marketing simplified.
So, Giri, you have seen customer growth to the max, and Sameer, you have been seeing customers in all kind of ways since Director Maximizer Mondovo. Okay, so who wants to start about what is happening and what is the best way to do it?
Well, I'll start and I'll say that email is dying. That's my open challenge that it is. I have read everything, seen everything, tried everything online. Everyone says it's a growing medium. It is, but only for specific niches, not for everybody. And I'm pretty sure that there are lots of people around the world trying emails who are frustrated at how it's not bringing back the growth or the ROI that everyone online says it does.
Oh, we have a different opinion on that, but yeah, we'll come back to it. Sameer, what do you think about this?
So that was Giri out there. So yeah, this is Sameer. So yeah, I also agree. I've lived in business for the last 11 years and we have tried various mediums of communication. When I started out in business 11 years back, I think email was very effective. Every email I sent out would get a huge amount of open rates. This was back in 2006. There were no conflicting mediums, no conflicting channels where people would go. Now there's Facebook, there's even Snapchat, there's Instagram, there's Twitter, there's so many channels, there's YouTube, and there are these podcasts which we're listening to right now. So I think because of the number of mediums that people have to consume information, I think emails, as Giri said, is dying, a slow death, and it's very difficult to capture attention. It's all about attention marketing, and if we're sending emails and we're not capturing the attention of the user in that 1 minute, it's super difficult.
But don't you think that when you're talking about email marketing itself, industry to industry is going to differ. Now we are in SaaS, it's really sucking for us, but say for e-commerce, we get an email from say Amazon, I'm going to look into all the catalog, okay, what is good, what is bad.
But that's my point. See, like I receive nearly 50 mails a day, from which 2 of them are from Amazon. I open it. Do I buy it? No. Now the same way, if you look at our mails, on an average our open rates are fairly decent, our click-through rates are fairly decent, going by industry average. Do people actually close the loop and end up buying? No. So as per, if you read all the information online, I have done everything that they've said, try images, glyphs, make the subject line enticing, open rates are good. Do they circle back and buy? No. So all the information you read online is to basically help people open the mail and click. Fantastic. Do they end up buying what you want? No. Email works mainly for a shopping site, that you tempt them with offers and tempt them with stuff you can buy. For other industries, it's very, very hard. Even if you, like what Sameer is saying, we have sent mails, both individualized, custom personal mails based on their actions, which is what everyone says you should do. We've sent mails that are simple with the personal style. We've sent mails with images. We have tried it all. Open rates are decent, click-through rates are decent. Fine, as per industry average. Did we get money from that? No.
Sameer, what do you think? What is the problem over here, despite doing everything?
So I'm not sure. Sometimes it's a frustrating experience because we spend so much time. I know Giri personally has spent hours and hours drafting an email. I've reviewed that email. I've thought that, okay, the first few drafts I thought were rubbish. I told him so. Then he edited those mails. Then he sent out those mails which I thought were wonderful, and then only to see that even though the open rates were high, like what, some mails of yours, Giri, were what, 40%, 50%, which is not bad. I thought, wow, Giri, I gave him a high five. Then I asked him, what were click-throughs? What was the outcome of those mails?
Outcome is
absolutely nothing. So nothing. I still wonder sometimes, why do people open it and then not read it? Or are we doing something wrong? So I think that's just something that we've got to brainstorm and figure out.
See, like I was reading an article just now before this podcast from a lot of email marketing experts who are predicting 2017. All are saying you will get custom animation, you will get more interactivity in the mail, yada yada yada. All that's fine. That means I will engage with the mail. Will I actually close the loop and buy? Maybe not. That means so if you look at it from a higher level, an email has no more effect on a viewer than an ad in the newspaper does. If the ad looks fantastic, I'll see it. Will I act on it? Maybe not.
But why to see, my point is here is like, why to see email as a selling medium? We can use that as an engaging medium.
So what's your take on emails, Bala?
Well, I would say try not selling to people at this particular point. If we have, say, 40% click-through ratio and open rate and other things, like in that particular case, better let's not sell anything. We know that's not going to be working. Instead, let's make it educational and put something.
We did exactly that. We made a wonderful workflow, sent an email to targeted people who use that particular product, so the workflow would have maximum relevance for them. Fantastic open rate, fantastic click-through rate. What happened in the end? Did anyone buy? No. Even then, and people wrote back, this is a fantastic mail, this is exactly what we need to be sending. Did he end up buying later? No. That's my point. It's frustrating. We get the engagement that everyone's after, we get the click-through rate that everyone's after, we get the open rates that everyone's after. Do we get the money that we want? No.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like Samir, wouldn't you say okay, money we didn't get, but the brand name, what you want to be kind of taking.
I was just thinking about that. I was thinking, okay, maybe these emails are serving a purpose in one way or other. Then maybe they're reading the mail, they're consuming the mail, and I'm hoping in my mind that our brand image is being enhanced. I'm hoping because that's the only thing I can hope for.
Isn't that a smart? Okay, so
yes.
Coming to that, if you look at an email as a marketing vehicle then why have an ROI attached to it? Like if you go to any ad agency guy and ask him, can you track the ROI of a newspaper ad? He'll laugh at you. Right. No, you cannot.
Right.
Same here. You cannot track ROI effectively unless you're a shopping site. Even in this email expert article, they're saying every mail you send will give back $40 on an average if a user buys something. That's an e-commerce platform. What about the rest of us who are not on an e-commerce platform? How can I possibly, I have tried to educate you, I have tried to teach you, I have shown you something interactive. What else? But you will buy when you are good and ready. Since it's not something that it's a spur of the moment thing, it's not something that is cheap, then?
Agreed. Okay, now say, reaching out to the customer is what we're trying to discuss over here. We know that email we tried, it's not working. But wouldn't it be crazy if we kind of choose like some other platform? Wow, one customer signed up where he's got a Twitter account. I send him Twitter DMs like instead of all the things.
That is what I like to do. Now see, the whole point of this discussion was if email is looked at as a marketing medium or a channel, there are lots of other options that we can do where I can spend the same amount of time and get maybe an interaction. Twitter is a fantastic example. Facebook's another example. If he has an Instagram account, send him pics or Snapchat. I would rather do something where I know he's not, because like we all receive 100 mails a day on an average. I open just 2.
I sorry to interrupt. So I also think that we have to look at all the channels that we have out here. So email is one which we should not ignore. I don't think it's completely dead, but the way we use email is completely, I think we have to rethink, because people are getting hundreds of mails from everyone. Everyone knows email marketing. They don't know Twitter marketing. They don't know YouTube marketing. They don't know Pinterest. They don't know Instagram. So I believe our users are exploring various channels, and wherever and every channel that we can reach out to them, we should. Basically, because every audience of ours has their own liking. They have our own liking to a medium. We have seen our own, we are reaching out to customers sometimes through our YouTube. Now we're trying podcasts. So I think we can reach out in various ways. Some people follow me on Korra. I know they're customers at Mondovo. I believe that I was surprised to see that. So maybe that's my means of being able to reach out to them through answers of questions that they ask out there. So I think we have to figure out what's the best way for email and what's the best way for each medium.
Just a crazy idea over here. Now, you have this 7-day onboarding emails that you kind of send to everybody who kind of signs up with Mondovo. Imagine we take that into a video and we talk to people about it. Okay, just in front of the computer, in front of the camera. We all come and say, hey, this is what we're doing and this is what you could possibly do. 7 days and we're going to be sending that. Well, that's the point. As an email, we send it.
No, if you see, I love the idea. If you can somehow combine an email ID with a retargeting thing. If you look at most people, their same email ID is used for YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. No one has multiple IDs for everything, right? Now, when we capture the leads, we capture the email address, but we don't use it for any other medium that he's going in. We just use it to send stuff in his inbox. If there was a way that I know that this user has logged into YouTube with that email address, I will then send him that video through YouTube somehow. Or
interesting. Does YouTube allow that? I don't think so.
No,
Facebook allows, right?
Facebook
Instagram.
allows that.
Facebook
You can
allows.
that.
So
we can target
for
them to
whatever
that particular
emails
thing.
we've
so
captured.
I
we
would
can
love
also,
to that because I know he's going to be more involved on social than he will be in an inbox. When you open your inbox, you're automatically in the mode of, oh my god, I have to clear up so much of this stuff. You don't read any of the mails. So I'm saying all the fancy automation, personalization, interactivity, why can't you have it in different mediums? I have seen YouTube videos where you can actually interact with the video, with a survey or something they have live on the screen. Why can't we do that?
In fact, now there's a notification
happening,
thing.
yes.
Yeah.
So
Without
that's
the
happening
video,
now.
you can literally send a kind of a notification saying that, hey, I'm going to post a video and say like another, I'm going to record a video.
Notification
in
goes to
10 minutes.
whom?
All the subscribers. It kind of goes. But,
How do you do that?
they have a thing. No, I've been following some of the people. I get a notification from them, which is kind of on the top right.
Okay.
It's but I go and click it, nothing comes up. He clearly says that I'm going to record it. So you have any questions, just post it to me. Okay, and then people kind
This
of
is
just
to all the subscribers.
all
or-
the subscribers. Yeah,
It makes
yeah.
more sense to me because doing it on those sort of channels, I know the user is spending more time with a freer mind. You're on social with a blank slate. You're in an inbox trying to clear up stuff.
But it all comes back to that. It goes in a mass way, like to everybody. But if you want to personalize it to one particular individual, that's going to be a tough job. Don't you think?
So I think email is the best medium for personalized
Absolutely.
communication.
At the end, it kind of comes to email. Okay, what is the best way to reach out a person personally? Well, email. DM. Now, I mean, I really don't
Why can't
talk
I send
about.
him a Facebook message? I have his email address, so that means I can find him on social media. Why can't I send him a personalized message through
But maybe
LinkedIn?
that's too spammy.
Why? It'll
I
be
don't
through
know.
Facebook message.
I'm not sure. People are not doing that. Maybe it's worth a try. I'm not
Why
sure.
not?
Okay, but let's figure out what will work for emails. Now, we all know that people, I'm sure it's not only us, there are many people out there who are not able to figure how to use emails effectively. We've tried, we've got some success, but not the kind of success that we would have hoped for, basically. So, can we hash out a possible solution given the context of the times that we're in, basically? We realize that there are multiple mediums, we realize that there are multiple channels, multiple people vying for our users' attention. So, how do we really reach out to our users, or how do people, businesses in general, reach out to their customers using email? Because email, there is a way to use it, but is there a way that we're not doing it right?
Okay.
Basically, so what do you think, Bala?
Now, before I get into the answers of it, let's talk about in the last 3 days.
Yes.
Did you really look into any of the email and did you engage in any of the email that you remember?
I've not checked my emails for the last 3 days, but no. The only emails I have actually opened and responded to were conversations that I was already engaged in.
Okay.
So any marketing emails that were sent to me, no, I did not really give it a second thought. I did not give it a second glance also.
You
But yeah, I don't know. Maybe people are like me. Maybe I tend to ignore a lot unless the emails were like from people I
know.
I know are people whose blogs I've subscribed to and I really love their content. So there is this Alex from Groove who writes very interesting blog sharing his journey. So I do open his mail. I skim through, but I've not clicked through on many of the links. That's the reality of the matter. So I have to agree. I'm one of those users who just doesn't respond. I'm sure there are many.
Many are there. Okay, you did mention about Korra that you are very famous there. I mean, at least you answer to all your questions
Yes.
there. And Korra has this interesting news feeds that sends to you over an email, and
Yes.
pretty interesting ones is that are there in the news feeds.
So those
you
are the ones
check
I
that.
open. Yes,
You open that,
yes,
right?
Good you mentioned it. I do open Korra. I trust the brand, and I love the fact that because I love the content I read there.
Yeah.
So that's why I open the mail. So is that okay? Can we get something out there?
Exactly. Let's kind of hold the thought there. Now, Giri, same question to you.
See, I'm slightly biased because I know that somebody somewhere would have taken the pain to make this. So I actually do take a little bit of effort to open most of the mails.
Wow, that's so
Yeah.
nice.
So I realized that fine. Let's be kind to some poor marketer. They will.
But
show
you
up.
act on them.
No. That's the other sad thing. So I do, but the
But
thing
are there
is,
certain brands
There
or
are.
things that you actually act on, but it's purely because of the brand?
No, I do. So there are brands where I know the mails would look nice. So based on from a pure visual perspective, like Campaign Monitor, Inbound, all of them, their mails are really fairly pleasing to look at, and then based on how it looks and what the content is, I will interact with it. Same problem as you, I don't click on all the links obviously. So again, the same issue comes back that I have opened the mail, I have seen the content, even if it was relevant to me, but I have not acted upon it because I didn't want to. Simple
Actually,
as
yeah,
that.
when you mention like inbound.org's mails also, when it comes, I do, because some interesting questions
Some
I always
In fact,
know that.
good that you mentioned inbound.org. Like, they run this one of the thing which they have in their email is like they run a survey and they ask a question, and you can literally go and click and participate in that opinion or poll, and then what they do in the same email, whatever happened in the previous day, they kind of put the results of that. So I'm really interested in looking forward for that. Okay, so
See,
that's
the thing
my
is,
opinion.
if
What's
you
the other people
are
have?
if you are a community like Korra or Inbound, it is easier to get interactions from users and engagement because the only thing you're asking the user to do is read.
Right.
You're not asking him to take an action. Now, the thing is, if we send, I am basically all said and done, I need you to take an action that at the end of it will cost you money. Same thing for shopping sites as well. It is harder for us to get that action because you are so closely guarded with your cash.
So can we summarize that if you build a brand around yourself and a brand that people will love, your mails will also be opened with that much more enthusiasm.
Always.
But if your brand, if you're not offered enough value, then I think whatever mail you send
Will never
is going to
work.
be hard.
It's going to be very, very
So I think what you do on your site, how you deal with your users matters more
Matters
because
more.
that impression also plays
See, but then also,
a part.
if
So
you-
I get mails. Sorry to interrupt. I get mails I get discount mails, suppose from like Amazon or some other shopping providers. But I might not open the other shopping providers. I'll
But you'll open Amazon.
Amazon because I trust Amazon. I've used Amazon.
Right.
So I think maybe it does play a part that what we do online on our site.
Makes
There's
a
a
difference.
huge difference.
But then, see, like even inbound.org or even Korra, they are very well known now, which has been nearly 10, 15 years of them actually slaving away. But even in the beginning, so in our case, when we sign up with somebody new, they might look at our site and find it fantastic. They might interact with our customer team, find them very helpful, but they are still new to us and they are new to be, you know what I mean? So they have not developed that trust yet for me to open your mails blindly. In that case, what do we do?
So the question is, how do we build trust, or how do we build that attention, get that
Fast.
attention for a person who's not known?
Yes.
Right.
Somebody new. basically.
Not somebody new.
Very interesting point you guys put. Like, when you're representing your email as a brand, okay, we have a different click through. Now, I'll tell you, recently we had this event in our office, and we did try sending emails to people, and we tried Facebook marketing and everything. Nothing worked out so much. Okay, it's all about filling up 20 seats, and interestingly, I got like 12 seats filled up by sending emails in LinkedIn. Now, LinkedIn, you are personal. You people know it. Like, what is that you exactly do? You kind of connect better in that, and then whatever you send it to them, and you have a better response rate in that particular thing. So, do you think that
We have tried that. So what you're talking about is personalization. So
Right.
in our case, all the mails that we go out are always written from the first person point of view. It's in a conversational tone. It is with the person's photograph. It is signed off
But
in the
maybe
first
the
name.
personality doesn't come across.
Yeah.
Or maybe that's what's missing. That maybe because if you don't represent the brand and the brand that you're not resonating with, then maybe if you're sending as a first person, then I think you have to show a bit of emotion, or you have to show a bit of life. I
Right.
think
But if I've not met you,
you've not met me, but I think the way I say what I say matters. So I think we have to connect with our audience, relate with the problem they could have in a personal way. Of course, now I'm just thinking aloud out here. I'm not sure what exactly we could do, but I know that maybe if we bring life to an email in terms of bringing our personality forth and trying to show that we really care for a problem that they have, or really care for why they came to our site and can we help them solve, then I think if we show that passion and that caring attitude, I think maybe it might come across. Maybe this is just a thought, because we're talking about many brands out there who are just starting out, and if brands are unknown, can the person behind the brand be the face of the brand
Yeah, that's
till the brand itself becomes a figure, basically.
Absolutely.
Because I
That
think
brings back to what you said earlier, that it's based on the experience that they see on the site. So if they see that the site is quirky, humorous, or whatever, and the person writing to them also has that same sort of personality, then it makes sense. But in our case, I don't think most people, even us included, we've not given any thought to the personality of the,
No, we haven't.
the brand. We've had this discussion very long back,
Very
I think,
long
when
back,
we
yes.
joined.
Yes.
So
Right.
what is the personality of Mondovo? But we never really finalized on anything. Now, say we do agree on something, and we carry that forward towards the website design, towards the tool design, towards the customer service, and then towards the email as well, then they will make sense. Like right now, we've got users who are saying it's too complicated, I don't know what's going on. The mail, we're trying to be all friendly, hi, how's it going, and that experience they had on the site is not carrying forward. So, but we know that this is an issue, so we're working on it
I think
now.
that's something we have to figure out. I think we have to, that's something we have to figure out. I wish I had examples on the top of my head of what we could do, but right now I don't. But I think, personality builds a brand maybe, and then the brand will come
Help
forth
us.
somehow. I
I
think.
think we have to experiment it. It's all the experiment game that we're going to be playing.
I don't know any other company doing this except Zappos. Zappos, even on their site, is very simple to use, very informative. And if something is out of stock, they will recommend where you can buy it from some other store, not only theirs where you can buy it. And that carries forward to their customer service also. So that entire customer centric philosophy is the entire personality of the brand. I don't know anyone else who's doing it like that. But we can start. So we need to figure out if Mondovo stands for something. The brand stands for simplicity, stands for affordability, and humanism basically. So it's basically there is a person who is behind it. You put a human face behind it. It's not a autonomous, unfeeling SaaS tool. Basically, there are people behind it, and they are.
So Giri,
genuinely
we have experience. I'm not proud to say that, but we have a lot of experience of emails that don't work.
Yeah.
So like
Quite
if you to quite a few, and even from my experience, I know that we know that what doesn't work. So can we summarize out here, like what are the kind of emails that really don't produce that engagement? What are the kind of emails that don't deliver the click-through rates? So what do you think, if you had to summarize from your experience?
Where do I start?
It's
Hold my beer while I tell you.
it's like, so I'm sure many people out there listening will know if they can resonate what you're saying, and this is what we should not be doing.
Okay, so the common urge is to have mails that are flashy and look really nice. I am a victim of this myself. I like mails that have images. Now, what I've realized,
which I've totally disagreed with a
now,
number of times.
True, but what I also realize is that although there are a lot of do-it-yourself tools available online to help you create this yourself, don't, because chances are it'll end up looking very half-assed basically. So the thing is, if you're doing an image mail, it should look professional, as though a designer thought, because certain things, the image, the font, the color placement, all of that matters subliminally. If you are not a designer, chances are you will get it wrong. You will get it wrong, and your mail will look very amateurish. In that case, if you can't hire a designer, you can't do it, just ignore it. Do a plain text mail. That's one. If you're doing a plain text mail, there has to be as simple language as you can. Most people try and include jargon, which is very easy to do because it's your industry and you understand the jargon. Users do not. So there has to be a human element that comes through the mail, which we have also tried. Then the third thing is, you have to understand that most inboxes, most how do I say, the Gmail, Hotmail, Outlook, Yahoo, none of them have a standard format. None of them. So the mail that you make in one would look horrible in the other. So actually sending one mail takes a lot of time because you have to optimize for each of these platforms, and we have spent days just.
That's why I prefer text
just
only
so
mails
annoying
any
because
day.
you'll suddenly realize that you open the mail, the CTA is some far off place and you've never meant it to be there. You have to try. So that is something why we just avoid image mails in general. Then the last would be that there is debate on what day to send an email. If you read online, everyone says no, send it on a Tuesday because Monday is everyone's working, and Friday everyone's already ready for the weekend. But you have to understand that if you know to send a mail on Tuesday, everyone else knows it too. So you will get 1,000 mails on Tuesday and nobody reads it. So we have actually tried sending mails on Friday, which have worked. We've sent mails on Monday, which have worked. We've sent mails on the weekend, which have worked. So it actually depends on what kind of topic you're sending. If you're sending something that's educational and requires to be read, we found that it works better towards the weekend because people have more time. If you want them to take action, it works better towards the beginning of the week. The next thing is there is no such timing for mail. Normally people say send it after 10 a.m. because by then he's in office, he's checked his inbox. You have to understand that again, these rules are known by everybody, so you'll get all the mails at that time too. And by 10 o'clock, I don't know about you, but my work has already begun. So I'm not looking at my inbox at that point. I'll look at the inbox only maybe during lunch when I have an hour to spare. So that again you can try.
What about subject lines? Do you think subject lines should
wait,
be...
hold on. Now coming to that. So again, we have read everything, seen everything, tried everything. So obviously the rule is, people say personalization in subject line. That's not technically a rule, but it will be nice if it's there. People say have it short because when you open on a phone, it should come below 120 characters or something. That's also here and there. We have tried emojis in the subject line. We have tried glyphs in the subject line. We have tried personalized subject line. Something interesting that we found is that if there is a star after the last word on the subject line, the open rates increase.
Oh, okay.
We've also found that if you put free download or free template or something like that after the subject line, the open rates increase. So again, it is very much like SEO where people are basically just looking for certain things to catch their eye. Now, if there was a way to maybe have some sort of slight animation on that, that would be the end of it all, because then everybody would do it. But it's a nice idea. I like the idea of having in the inbox,
animation in the subject line?
In the subject line,
okay.
something.
Okay.
Now, another part of, I would say this is like email inbox SEO, but there is a subject line, there is a second subject line, then there is your introduction. So most people when they skim the inbox will look at the main subject line and the one or two lines of text after that. So,
that's a very good point, yeah.
So you should actually, so if you see most of the mails we write, there's a main subject line. Under that there is a quick summary of, not summary, but a one line statement of what this mail is about. So even if you don't open it, you'll at least read that part, which is what we're hoping that you'll open.
So and that's the thing many people don't think about.
No.
And I'll admit I have not thought about that as well. So
we have read everything, tried everything.
I know. So I think the first line matters
Yeah.
more, and we should not waste that opportunity.
Then
Yeah.
I can go on, but never mind.
Okay. So then Bala, if you could just summarize it, let's...
So, just putting out all the points what Giri said, flashy images, if you have a good designer, go for it. Otherwise, stick on to HTML. Good example because, all the emails that comes from Neil Patel, it's all the plain HTML and you pretty much go and
I'm
click
a
the
huge
links.
fan of text-only emails.
Okay.
I just absolutely hate HTML emails.
Best, no headaches with the designers or anything. Go with HTML for the win. Jargons, use the right jargons and proceed on the right formats and then make sure that your email is going to be working on. But if you're going to be on the HTML, it's pretty much going to work on any format. Personalities in those particular things. Dates. Try different dates, the one what industry says, don't go with that because everyone is trying that. Try the other dates, it could work. Subject lines. Lots and lots of experiments that you could do with that and check the one which is actually working and check it on and proceed on. One thing which I want to add is, one of the emails which we get is from Buffer team and every time they have the small GIF images at the bottom.
Yeah, we have that.
That's like, that's interesting one. I think we should do more of that. I really love those GIFs. I think we should try some GIFs.
Where they include a person from the office doing something.
Like,
I've seen one of them.
Like
that's cool. That builds personality again.
Exactly.
So again, it's personality. Personality
builds
builds
the
a
personality of the brand.
Yeah,
You can
I
put
think.
that in.
I think we can include that also. So yes, that's the kind of a point that we want for reaching out to our customers, and let's kind of say for more information on such topics, subscribe to us and watch out even a video of this in YouTube, and of course check out our blog at mondovo.com. You'll be having more information. We'll come back next week with even more interesting topic and much more deeper insight.
Thank you.
Thank you.
This session of the Digital Marketing Simplified Show has come to a close. For more information on show notes and transcriptions of this episode, visit us at Mondovo.com. If you found this episode worth your time, please do spread the word. Tweet it. Email it. And share it with your network. Do keep checking back for more new episodes. Till next time.